I want to tell you about two people who started a fat loss journey on the same day. Same weight, same goal, same amount of time to dedicate to exercise each week. The first person laced up their running shoes and started jogging 4 days a week, 30 minutes each session. The second person started walking. Same 4 days, same 30 minutes. And at the end of 6 months, the results were not what anyone predicted. The walker had lost more body fat, had better hormonal markers, had no joint pain, and was still doing it consistently, while the runner had quit in month 3 with a knee injury and a cortisol level that was quietly working against every fat loss effort they were making. Now, I am not telling you running is bad. Running has real benefits. But what I am about to share with you will completely change how you think about walking, why it works the way it does at a biological level, and why for the specific goal of fat loss it outperforms running in ways that the research has been confirming for years. This is the Vitality Code, where we take what the science actually says and translate it into something you can use in your real life. If that is the kind of content you want more of, hit that like button and subscribe right now, because we put out new videos every single week, and this community keeps growing because the information actually delivers. Now, let us get into the biology, because this is where everything starts to make sense. The first thing most people get wrong about fat loss and exercise is confusing calorie burn during exercise with total fat loss over time. These are not the same thing. And this distinction is at the heart of why walking outperforms running for fat loss in so many situations. Yes, running burns more calories per minute than walking. That part is true, and nobody is disputing it. But here is what most people do not realize. The calorie burn during your workout is only one part of the fat loss equation, and in many cases, it is not even the most important part. What matters more is what your hormones are doing for the other 23 hours of the day. And this is where walking does something that running simply cannot match. When you run, particularly at moderate to high intensity, your body treats it as a significant physical stressor. Your heart rate climbs into ranges that trigger your adrenal glands to release cortisol, your primary stress hormone. This is a completely normal and expected response to intense exercise. But here is the problem for fat loss specifically. Cortisol, when chronically elevated, does several things that directly undermine your goals. It promotes fat storage in the abdominal area. It breaks down muscle tissue for fuel, which reduces your resting metabolic rate. It elevates blood sugar, which raises insulin, which puts your body into storage mode rather than burning mode. And because running, especially for beginners and intermediates, represents a significant enough stressor to keep cortisol elevated for hours after the session ends. The fat-burning benefits of the calorie burn can be partially or fully offset by the fat-storing effects of the hormonal response. Walking operates in a completely different physiological zone. At a comfortable walking pace, your heart rate sits at roughly 50 to 60% of maximum, which is what exercise scientists call Zone 1, or the low end of Zone 2. In this intensity range, your body does not mount a significant cortisol response. Your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight-or-flight system, stays relatively calm, and your body preferentially uses fat as its primary fuel source rather than glycogen, which is the stored carbohydrate that higher-intensity exercise tends to burn. This is called the fat oxidation zone, and walking sits right in the middle of it. You are burning a higher percentage of fat calories per minute during a walk than during a run. The run burns more total calories per minute, but a greater proportion of those calories come from glycogen rather than fat. For someone whose primary goal is fat loss rather than cardiovascular performance, that distinction matters enormously. This is where things get interesting, because there is a second major advantage of walking over running for fat loss that almost nobody talks about. And it has nothing to do with what happens during the exercise itself. It has to do with what happens to your appetite afterward. Research has consistently shown that high-intensity exercise, including running, significantly elevates hunger hormones in the hours following the session. Your body, having just burned through significant glycogen stores, sends powerful hunger signals to drive you to replenish them. Studies have found that people who run regularly tend to compensate for a significant portion of the calories burned during their runs through increased food intake afterward, often without even realizing they are doing it. This compensation effect can reduce the net calorie deficit created by running to a fraction of what it appears on paper. Walking does not produce this appetite compensation effect to the same degree. Research published in the International Journal of Obesity found that walking did not significantly elevate post-exercise hunger hormones in the way that running did. This means the calorie deficit you create during a walk is more likely to remain intact after the session ends. You are not being driven by biology to eat back what you burned, and over days and weeks and months, that difference in appetite regulation compounds into a meaningfully larger total calorie deficit and meaningfully greater fat loss than the raw numbers from the exercise itself would suggest. But here is what the surprising part is, and it stopped researchers in their tracks when they first started quantifying it. The cumulative effect of daily walking on something called NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, is one of the most powerful and most overlooked factors in total daily calorie burn. NEAT is the energy your body expends through all movement that is not formal exercise. Fidgeting, standing, pacing, taking the stairs, gesturing when you talk. And research has found that regular walkers tend to have significantly higher baseline NEAT throughout the day compared to people who do intense exercise sessions and then spend the rest of the day largely sedentary. The explanation comes back to cortisol and fatigue. Hard running sessions leave many people genuinely depleted. They sit more. They move less between sessions. Their non-exercise movement drops. Walkers do not experience this fatigue-driven reduction in daily movement, and the difference in total daily calorie burn between a high NEAT and low NEAT lifestyle can reach 300 to 500 calories per day, which over a year represents 30 to 50 pounds of fat. That is not even the most important part, because walking has a specific effect on one of the most critical hormonal systems for fat loss that running at high intensity actually suppresses. Growth hormone. Your body releases growth hormone in pulses throughout the day, with the largest release happening during deep sleep. Growth hormone is one of the most powerful fat-burning hormones your body produces. It signals fat cells to release stored fat into the bloodstream. It promotes muscle preservation during a calorie deficit. And it supports the kind of body composition changes that make you look leaner without necessarily making the scale move dramatically. High-intensity exercise, when overdone, can disrupt sleep quality, which suppresses growth hormone release overnight. Walking, because it does not create the same physiological stress response, supports rather than disrupts sleep quality. And better sleep means more growth hormone. And more growth hormone means more fat burning. The entire system works together in a way that slow, consistent walking supports and aggressive running can sometimes undermine. There is also a sustainability argument that research on long-term adherence supports powerfully. Studies on exercise adherence consistently find that the people who maintain a consistent exercise habit for years are not the ones who choose the most intense programs. They are the ones who choose activities they can do without dreading them. Walking has one of the highest long-term adherence rates of any exercise modality. It requires no equipment, no gym, no special fitness level, no recovery days, and no tolerance for discomfort. You can do it every single day without overtraining. You can do it in dress shoes on a lunch break. You can do it while listening to a podcast, making a phone call, or processing a difficult day. And because you can do it every day without physical or psychological resistance, the compounding effect over months and years produces results that a more intense but less consistent approach simply cannot match. What happened next when researchers began combining daily walking with strategic dietary changes produced results that genuinely surprised the scientific community. Participants who walked 30 to 45 minutes daily combined with a moderate reduction in refined carbohydrates lost comparable amounts of visceral belly fat over 12 weeks as groups who ran 3 times per week while following the same dietary changes. Same fat loss outcome: less joint stress, lower cortisol, better sleep, higher daily NEAT, and dramatically higher rates of program completion. The walkers finished. The runners dropped out at higher rates. And finishing, showing up day after day for months, is the variable that matters most for real-world fat loss results. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you a walker or a runner? And after hearing this, are you going to change anything about your approach? I read every single comment, and this community is one of the most thoughtful groups of people I have ever had the chance to create content for. And if you know someone who has been grinding through running sessions they hate and wondering why the fat is not coming off the way they expected, share this video with them. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can give someone is permission to slow down. Walking is not the easy option. It is not the lazy option. It is the smart option. And for the specific goal of losing fat and keeping it off for the rest of your life, it might just be the most powerful tool you have been overlooking.